am Perry Sook. I'm a Texas boy, born and raised, but I've lived in New York City for 4 years now. So.
And talk to me, what has the Camelot experience been like for you?
Oh God, it's so great. This particular version of Camelot is very near and dear to my heart. I was with it when it first came about in New Jersey a handful of years ago. And so getting to work on it in that aspect as Sir Lionel, and then getting to come here and get to create the role of Lancelot has just really been this beautiful arc, really enabling me to get to see it from all sides and enjoy every bit this adaptation has to offer.
Talk to me about the adaptation. What do you? I assume we all like it, but
yes.
What do you like particularly about this adaptation?
I think it's really a wonderful story. I think a lot of times Camelot gets lost in the mystical aspects of it, or the campiness of it, or trying to make things too big that they don't exist. And in this story, we are storytellers, which is what I think all great acting is just good storytelling. And it takes the love triangle not only between Arthur, Guinevere, and Lancelot, but between Lancelot, Guinevere, and the table, and these ideals and all of that, and really puts that story on display in all of its honesty and truth. Which is really what I think is the heart of what Camelot is.
I think this Arthur and this Guinevere and this Lancelot are unique based on the three of you that are playing it and what's important to you and what you're bringing to it. Certainly, Meg's got an energy. Well, I've never had a Guinevere in a fight scene before, but talk to me a little bit about your feeling about the way these characters are being portrayed and how maybe it's a little different take.
Yeah, but when you cut away all of the excess, all of the fat, and all of the fluff from Camelot, and you're left with these three people, those three people then have to be real people. You can't go with these common conceptions and the pre-cut Arthurs and Lancelots and Guinevere. And so a Lancelot that with 40 people behind him in a giant forest and tree, comes across as, funny almost, or a caricature, all of a sudden becomes arrogant and fake and phony in this true story that we're telling here. So with this production, I wanted to make my Lancelot more honest, more genuine. He believes he is the perfect knight. There's no arrogance or fluff about it. It is just him trying his best to be the best he can for the table, and then the best he can to be the best he can for Guinevere. And all of that is a true story that is a true connection between him, the table, and his love.
What's your favorite moment in Camelot?
Oh God, there's so many. I think the end of the joust is a pretty remarkable scene because Lancelot isn't sure he can commit a miracle. And especially in this version where most of the magic is cut out. So that moment when he finally gets to do something he's not sure he can do and is accepted by everyone, and the eye contact he makes with all the people kneeling for him, and then realizing, because I believe the joust is when he realizes not only does he have feelings for Guinevere, but he is now entangled, and there is something there that can't be ignored anymore. And so getting to make that eye contact and that connection and feel both a part of the castle but then a part of Guinevere's story is really a great moment, I think, for Lancelot.
So do I.
Yeah.
And you are a more physical Lancelot than he is sometimes. I mean, you have a big ass sword fight.
I do. No, it's funny because a lot of the times you have Lancelot saying, well, physically, yes, I am perfect, Your Majesty, and then we don't get to see any of that. And I like it. I'm a larger man, I'm an ex-football player, and I was like, so how can I be physically perfect for this production? And so I think putting that size and strength on display, showing that I can overpower, and in these sword fights, being able to take on two knights and being able to use one hand when everybody else has to use two. I really feel like I get to physically convey my dominance and what Lancelot believes is perfection of body in this production by showing his strength and domination over the other knights.
The story of Camelot has been passed down from legend forever. It was written in the 60s, was very important to kind of the Kennedy administration, but in today's world, the idea of might for right, people coming together for a bigger cause, that kind of messaging, do you think that the message of Camelot is as valid today as it's been in the past?
Absolutely, 100%. I think not only, might for right is important, because there are so many people with power these days who don't necessarily use it as all of us might want it to be used. But then I think the crux of the entire show, there's a moment where Arthur comes to Lancelot and says, we must make sure our passions do not destroy our dreams. And I got chills just talking about it, because every single person could do what's best for them or what's best for the world at any given moment. And that is more clear now when we have people in power who may or may not do things that are more beneficial to themselves or act with themselves in mind first. But if the goal is greatness, if the goal is a universal reality of greatness, then you can never act selfishly. You have to act so that your individual ideas do not destroy the dreams of us all. And I think that message is more timeless now than it ever has been.
Talk about the Lerner and Loewe score. Do you like the score to this?
I absolutely do. I love this adaptation because while cutting away a lot of the dialogue and the fluff, we kept almost all of the score and all of its intent with the new orchestrations by Steve Orich. And it's beautiful. I mean, it's got classic songs that everybody knows. It's got places for all people to be shown off in different parts of their voice. It's got happiness and fun and quintessential musical theater with The Lusty Month of May. And then, one of the oldest, truest baritone songs in the canon with If Ever I Would Leave You. And getting to do that, but then adding in the truth that we have layered into these characters on top of this beautiful, score, really, I think, brings it to life in a fun new way while retaining truthful to the original score.
Anything you want to tell me that I didn't ask?
There's so much you could say. I mean, the Camelot, as we say, it is a timeless story. It is a classic story. I think we're telling it in a new novel way. I think we're telling it in a truthful, unbelievable way. And I think people who have seen Camelot before have not seen this Camelot. So even if you think, you know the story, you know the characters, you know the songs, but you don't know this production of Camelot, I think we have something new to tell and that people need to come and see it.
Thanks, baby.
Thank you.